Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Profiles in Risk. I am your host, Nick Lamparelli. In continuation of the promotional aspect of the Insurance Nexus Conference, the Insurance AI and Analytics USA Conference to be held in Chicago on May 2 and 3. This is the final in a series of promotional video and audio blogs regarding that. And last but not least, Stephen, I have you. I'd like to introduce my guest for today, Stephen Applebaum. Stephen is the managing partner for Insurance Solutions Group and is the chairman and moderator of this particular conference. Stephen, thank you.
Thank you, Nick. It's a pleasure to be with you today and to speak to everybody.
Absolutely. It's been a while since we've talked. We actually go a few years back. Meeting in Chicago, whatever. So it'll be good for us to cross paths and actually see you again. We've tried to connect, but haven't been able to do it. To give the audience a flavor of, before we jump into the conference element and the AI and the analytics, Stephen Applebaum, who are you? Why should we be listening?
So I'll answer in order to give you some context for any of the comments I might make today. So I have a 35-year career in both Canada and the US in information technology. Initially as a venture capital professional, early in the investment cycle before it was so popular as it is today, and then later on as a member of the management teams of two of the leading claims information solution providers in both countries. I also served as president for an insurance technology startup here in Chicago, serving the P&C claims market, and helped establish and lead the P&C insurance practice of a very well-known syndicated research firm in the financial services sector. So today, Insurance Solutions Group provides strategic consulting, research, and advisory services to P&C insurers, to their technology and service partners, as well as to their M&A advisory, and provides due diligence support services to investment firms with focused interests across the ecosystem. And finally, without boring you, I also write and publish a daily newsletter and frequently thought leadership articles, and for the past 6 years have acted as chairman for the conference that you've just referenced, very well-respected Insurance Nexus conferences across North America, including specifically the Insurance AI and Analytics USA conference, which you talked about.
Yep. We will put the daily information on the daily newsletter on the show notes for anyone that's watching or listening. You want to get that, I'll give you a link so you can sign up for that. So, Stephen, are you saying you were doing VC before InsurTech was even a thing? Before
it was a thing. Essentially before technology was a thing.
So now it's like the most popular thing. It's grown. Like, it's crazy how the word kind of surfaced and all of this activity. Now there are conferences completely dedicated towards the startups of InsurTech, and a big feature of that, what you're seeing a lot of is things dealing with artificial intelligence, AI, analytics, and processing basically linking that AI and analytics to claims. You've been in insurance for quite some time. Can you describe the change you've seen in the ecosystem? Is it as volatile as I'm making it out to be?
It's certainly changed a lot. I don't know about volatile, but change is the word. I got to say that today's insurance industry bears very little resemblance to the one that I was first introduced to some 35 years ago. The change truly has been extraordinary, although not as extensive as it has been in other segments of financial services, like banking. And I I have believed for a while that the main driver of this change was the shift from an analog to a digital world environment starting around 1990, and followed quickly by the introduction of mobile devices, which really truly supercharged the transformation. The digitization of data and processes and the persistent connectivity through smartphones fundamentally changed everything forever.
Yeah. What are you seeing now? Like I had a discussion yesterday with an adjuster who, field adjuster, who basically said, I know my career as it currently exists will be over in 5 to 10 years. That you brought up mobile, said he's already seeing situations where the property owner themselves can download an app and the technology can guide them through the process to submit the video or photos for the claim. So it's already happening. Can you talk about that and what insurers are doing with all of that technology? What are you seeing on the ground that's really starting to gain traction?
Absolutely. I'd like to start with an overview. Spending on AI technology in general is expected to be up about 44% this year versus last year, according to some market intelligence from IDC. And today, as you and I discussed earlier, Wall Street Journal, coincidentally, has a special report insert on the topic of artificial intelligence and its impact on the world. So, needless to say, it's a critically important subject, spreading quickly. But to focus back on your question and on the insurance industry itself, the applications where I believe the most impact have already been seen, and let me say, I think we've only seen a fraction of the impact that's yet to come. But the ones that are already visible and in place, I have a few to call out. You know, the first would be the basic shift from phone, telephone, and paper-based communications to digital communications, including chatbots in both policy and claims servicing. That would be one area. The second is that speech analytics, Alexa example, is really displacing text very quickly as a preferred means of communication in insurance and in general. I will say here that the technology impact on insurance is now paralleling the technology impact on our personal lives to the point where there's very little difference between them. Just 20 years ago, everyone who has been in the industry that long may remember that their personal lives were distinctly different than their business lives in terms of the tools and technology that they used for recreation or for business. Now they're synonymous. The third area is really the explosion of all the connected devices on cars, on homes, on buildings, on factories, and on people, you know, as in this device, which is really fundamentally changing risk profiles. It enables new insurance products, and it's giving insurers the opportunity to reposition their value propositions as risk prevention solutions. That's another current impact. Another would be that AI is already improving the onboarding and customer experience process in general. And then finally, I have a group of impacts on AI and mobility together that are changing the underwriting and claims process. And they would include things like AI reviews of aerial and drone imagery for property underwriting and claims, customer self-service claim submissions, which we might talk about a little further, claims fraud detection and deterrence, where predictive analytics actually tops the list. 64% of insurers plan to earmark funds for predictive tools this year. And that's a 45% jump from 2016, when only 19% planned to make that kind of an investment. And then finally, in computer-generated damage decisioning and assessments based on photo images. So there's a collection of immediate impacts.
Yeah, and you know, we've had a bunch of those companies on this particular podcast, so I'm familiar with all of those. What can you say to insurance professionals that are hearing those particular line items that you just named and said, where's the human aspect to this? Are we all going to be losing our jobs? What do you say to something like that?
Well, I think it requires a candid response. And the answer is yes and no, like most other complicated questions. But automation and robotics will definitely displace people who are doing lower level, repetitive tasks that don't require high levels of experience and judgment. And so, what I would say to the people who want to continue their career in the industry and advance is that the future really belongs to insurance professionals who understand information technology from a business and process perspective and can recruit and lead a new generation of digital natives, as they're called, who will help insurance companies transform and succeed. Also, I will add that partnerships and integrations are going to be critical moving forward for all insurers and will require a blend of financial, business, and technology acumen. So, attendance and active participation at appropriately focused industry conferences can definitely provide critical education and networking opportunities for the people you're referring to.
Yeah, it sounds. I mean, that's probably the tact that I would take if I were concerned. Would be to start to attend some of these conferences where these topics are coming up and beginning that network process, which can also kind of shed light on which direction the technology might be going, how you as a professional might be able to add value along with that technology. So you're not getting displaced, but you can use that technology to complement or supplement what it is that you're currently doing. And that leads us to this particular conference, which is completely geared around AI and analytics. Can you talk a little bit about who you think should be attending this sort of conference?
Well, this may sound a little self-serving because I actually believe that virtually everybody in the industry should attend. But let me try and hone that comment down a little bit. AI and analytics really does impact all segments of the entire insurance enterprise across the entire company. So attendees who have attended in the past and should attend include insurance professionals from P&C, from life, and from health companies in all the C-suite positions, in information technology and innovation, in underwriting, claims, marketing, customer experience, and all the line of business leaders. Basically, anybody who makes decisions in product development, customer engagement, technology, strategy, and innovations should really be attending.
Yeah, so it's really an applied conference, right? It's probably not going to be the type of conference where an insurance professional is going to go and they're just going to be tech guys talking about how to code AI or that. It's really trying to get the rubber to hit the road when it comes to all of these technologies and how insurance professionals, insurance companies can use and integrate them.
It's got a broad appeal and value for sure. You know, one of the special values of the Insurance Nexus conferences, including this one, isn't immediately apparent because it's not topic related. It's the networking effect.
Mm-hmm.
The ability to meet people who have challenges similar to the ones that you're facing every day, who you just don't know and have never met before, is critically important. And so we devote a large amount of time and a very structured approach to networking as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's more than just insurance professionals in Chicago, right?
It is.
You have people
We have,
somewhat from all over the world, right?
at the last conference, I actually called out a list of all the countries represented by the attendees. It was 19 countries
Yep.
from across the globe.
Yep. Yep. So incredibly valuable. I will be attending. I will be doing a workshop on claims and underwriting, a topic close to my heart. It's been frustrating for me, Stephen, working in this field, watching basically the Chinese firewall, the figurative Chinese firewall that exists between the claims department and the underwriting department. And it's like, why aren't these two groups talking to one another? So we're going to have a workshop. We're going to actually come up with strategies and working sessions on the types of things that can be done to do that. I will be bringing up AI. I will be bringing up analytics on that. Any closing thoughts or any particular before the closing thoughts? Any particular sessions that I think are either new or noteworthy in this particular one versus prior years?
I have to admit, I haven't looked ahead to look at the particular sessions. I would invite everybody to do what I'm going to do right after this call and take a look at the agenda, look at the speakers, look at the tracks, because the conferences are structured in track format so that the tracks that most closely parallel your interest or areas of responsibility are the ones you want to focus on. But what generally happens is people attend multiple tracks because there are no sort of clean and neat divisions of responsibility anymore. So I just invite everyone to take a close look at the agenda and the speakers. The biggest problem everybody's going to have is deciding where to go when there's competing sessions that you'd like to see both of. But that's what the slides and the audio is for. Following the conference, everybody gets copies of those. So I hope that helped. But I have nothing specific to offer except take a good look at the agenda.
Yep. So you have a month left, everyone. There's a discount code in the show notes for those that haven't signed up yet. So go ahead, sign up. Come meet Stephen. Come meet myself. Stephen, I will be pulling you aside at the conference. We'll do a side interview as a post-event broadcast where we can kind of talk about the event itself along with a few others. But I'm looking forward to seeing you. I'm looking forward to doing the workshop, and the sessions look jam-packed. Like I agree with you. There are going to be conflicting sessions where I'm going to be wanting to attend more than one. So I might have to do a coin flip.
Or if you attend with colleagues, and make sure you guys exchange, or you people exchange notes afterwards, so you agree on who will take notes from which. And again, don't forget that slides and audio is available post-conference.
Yeah. Thank you. I will put everything on the show notes. The conference is the Insurance Nexus Insurance AI and Analytics USA conference. It is in Chicago. Great city, great time. May 2nd, May 3rd. There, I'll have the link up here or down here, depending on how I edit this, and we will. It'll be on the show notes. Get your discount. Come meet us, and we're gonna have a great time. Right, Stephen?
Hey, thanks, Nick. It's good to see you here virtually again. Look forward to seeing you at the conference, and the same with everybody who's tuning in today or in the future to this podcast.
Okay, I hope to see everybody in Chicago. Thanks, everyone.